put you in on the bike is basically just going to be a neutral seated position for now until I get you really comfortable. I'm going to have you grip. Have you ever ridden a horse?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. A horse. Now riding a horse would translate really well because it's kind of the same position as far as you are gripping with your legs a lot, and you're unlocked with your hips, meaning you can allow the bike or the horse, if you're riding the horse, to work under you, and notice how my chest and my chin do nothing.
Yeah.
I know this is silly looking, but if we're in a position where we're
All
like
tense.
this, tense and looking down, everything is now connected as one. So if you hit a little bump or one of those rocks, you're gonna feel that through your whole upper body, and that's gonna get scary pretty quick. If we can be in a confident position here where our chest is up, our chin is up because we're looking ahead, you have the entire field to work with. So from a learning perspective, there's no safer spot to learn a dirt bike. You would have to be stuck wide open for 45 seconds to go hit anything. It's not like you're learning in a little backyard.
I hit it when the horse, what's it called? The
trough, the rubber
I hit
trough.
it that the first
Ran
time when
into
I was
the
on my
water.
first
When I first
bike.
learned, my dad taught me when I was 2 with training wheels. And then not only training wheels, but he had a big rope, and he would run behind me. So if I got stuck wide open, he would just be pulling the bike with the rope. And the first couple times without the rope, I remember I flew into trees, but I had a little backyard. You have all the room in the world.
Yeah, that's what I
Where you
suggested
look,
this.
you're gonna go. I know it's easy to tell you to do this, but if you don't panic and you just look where you want to go, that bike will go where you want it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this as simple as possible. You're not gonna need the brake. You're not gonna need the shift lever. Remember, you have the front and the rear. Ideally, I'd like to have you, if you do need to stop, get in the habit of squeezing both of those, the front and the rear, with your foot, just nice and gentle. With this being a 4-stroke, when you let off the gas, it's gonna have engine brake. Do you know what that is? So when you let off the gas, the bike's gonna kind of rev up and slow down. The speed you're gonna be going, just letting off the throttle, is enough stopping power.
Over here, Callie, so you can see from the front, so you can see what he was
Will be
talking
enough
about
stopping power.
when he squeezed it. So.
Yep. That's going to be tough because you don't have a lot of feeling in your boot yet, which is why I'm going to put you in a position where you're really not going to need the controls. But just so you know where they are in case you need them, right? I'm going to put you into a gear before you take off, but you're not going to worry about shifting at all just yet. If you get to a point today where I feel like you're comfortable and ready to start shifting, great. For now, I'm going to put you to second, maybe third gear, and just let you go. I might go to even third because the taller gear I put this bike in, the smoother the power is going to be. If I were to just put her off in first gear, which you would think first gear is the safest, first gear is going to be
It jerked me, it's gonna,
That's what it was when
very
she
hard
was
to ride.
trying to practice.
I would even recommend going straight to third. Now, granted, if you got freaked out and got stuck wide open, that bike will go faster. So that's the danger of third gear. But the third gear throttle control is way easier.
Interesting.
Because you could go wide open. You can go 3 or 4 miles an hour and go wide open in third gear. And this bike's so slow, it's barely going to move. If you're going 4 miles an hour in first gear and went wide open, you would probably flip over backwards in this bike. Because it has the torquey power, which makes it difficult. I don't want you going fast. I want you going maybe quarter throttle in third gear. Just fast enough to where you don't have to play the balance game. If you go too slow and you're sitting there trials riding, going too slow, it's going to make life difficult. If you go a speed to where you can just get the feet on, you're not worried about balancing, you can pick your chin up and look ahead, things are super easy.
I think like when I was on my friend's bike, I felt like okay when I was going, but when I stopped, that's when like things started to go bad, because like when I stopped, I think like a couple of times I kind of like fought over.
Right.
Kind of. But
So when you go to stop, just make sure that we're rolling the wrist off so that we're done with the throttle. And what that's going to do is when you roll your wrist off, your finger should always be like this. Your finger will be able to easily pull that front brake in just a little bit. A little bit will go a long way.
So show me how that looks, Callie.
So if you do it too quick, Callie.
Yep, but what's good about one finger is you won't have enough strength in that one finger to pull this too hard. If you went like this and yanked it to the grip, we could have some issues. But if you go one finger, nice and gentle, great. And then when you get slow enough to where you need to stop, both feet come down. And you can almost, this isn't a great habit to get into, but you can almost just kind of do this for a second until we're at a stop. So that way we're nice and balanced. And if anything, until you get comfortable when you take off, you can almost kind of do that to get going. So you always start in neutral, which this bike is all the way down, right? Once you get in neutral, I'm gonna just throw you up, 1, 2, 3, third gear, arms have to do and the more gentle you can be with the throttle. If we're riding around like this with our knees out and not gripping with our legs, and we're just trying to hold on with our arms, it's going to be really hard to be gentle with the throttle because you're going to be death gripping with your hands. The harder we can squeeze here, I could ride around like this.
So squeeze.
Behind your tippy toes, and then nice and tight. Good, and then you're just going to squeeze as tight as you can here. Your chin looks up, you look ahead, and your elbows stay up like this because you want to be in a nice strong position. This is your riding position, sitting down. We're not going to worry about standing up probably at all today. I just want you to be centered and tight and strong here. Don't overthink it. I don't want to give you too many things. Once you get in third gear, as little throttle as you can give it. Get comfortable what third gear is going to feel like.
So the more you push back, the more you're going to go faster?
Yep, so
Do you want it like really fast or just a little bit
barely
slow?
at all. Once you get going, barely at all. So you're
like
neutral
if
right now. Okay, right? So give it a tiny, tiny bit of gas because you always want to make sure you are in neutral.
Okay, so do you want me to put back in always?
Put your pointer finger here, yep. And now just twist it a little bit. Get comfortable, yeah. And always after you twist it, the wrist goes back. So you just get comfortable doing this. Good. Get comfortable doing it looking like right here. So that way you don't have to feel like you're always going to get the throttle hand to do it. No, it should be good. As soon as you get going, get those legs tight, alright? Nice deep breath. Nice and tight. Let off. Alright,
What
so
happened?
if that happens, 1, 2, 3, you should be in neutral now. Okay. If that happens, I guarantee what you did is when you went to go put your foot on, you probably hit the shifter by mistake and
Yeah.
you knocked it into what's called like a false neutral. So the bike thought it was in neutral. If you get to a point where that bike's making that noise and it's not going anywhere, let off the gas right away.
And hit this.
Yeah, don't even have to hit the brake, just let off the gas. Because when that thing kicks into gear, it will want to wheelie over. So hop off, I'll show you exactly what you just did. So you were in gear, you went to go, see we're in gear, good to go. Your foot hit the shifter, so you were stuck in gear until you weren't. So it actually makes it want to wheelie over. So if you get stuck here, let off the gas, and so then when it kicks into gear, it doesn't want to wheel you backwards. But that's why we ride here on our feet and not here. So that's going through the checklist, that's all. As soon as you take off, your feet go right here. Alright, go ahead. Alright, good. Your feet are in a good position. Nice. Keep your elbows up. There we go. Tighter with your legs. Hey, good job.
Try to do one whole walk and then stop
Yep.
when I come back
Try to
here?
ride for like a minute straight.
Like
Right now you're
one
riding for like
whole-
10 seconds, then you stop. I want to try to get a little bit of a
Okay.
flow going so we can build more confidence with the wrist
Yeah.
and the throttle control.
Okay.
All right, so you're neutral, should be able to fire it up.
Now do this.
Yep. Good, yep, you're good. Okay, now get a little bit of gas, just make sure we are in neutral. Good, okay. Always be hanging on when you do that.
Yeah.
Because if you're not in neutral and you're just kind of like
Yeah.
twisting it with one hand on just to test it and the bike goes, we're gonna tip over. All right, now 3 shifts up. If you have to do it with your hand to get comfortable, I understand because these boots are a lot. This is like
1, 2, 3.
Great. Now go through your checklist. Scoot your butt up a ½ inch. Good. Elbows up. Finger on the front brake. And then we're just looking ahead. Perfect. because you were in, I could tell just by listening to the bike, don't give a guess. That was second gear instead of third gear. Could you tell that it was a little bit more power?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, now you're in third, so it should be smoother. What I want to eliminate is this. It's one time smooth.
Okay. So when you put your hand back, just keep
Keep it there, but I'm talking barely any throttle.
Okay, yeah.
Barely any. But I want you to be smooth so you have more control, because if every time you're doing this, your body's going back with it and things can get dangerous kind of quick. Alright, and make sure, breathe when you're out there. I can tell you ride for 2 seconds and then you're kind of huffing and puffing, so that's telling me that you're holding your breath the whole time you're riding.
Really?
Yeah, when you ride, big deep breaths the whole time. Don't hold your breath, okay?
Okay.
Same checklist.
Do I loop around now?
Yep. You got all the space in the world, so just wherever you want to go, you look, okay?
Okay. Yep. Well,
chest forward, nice and smooth. Good job. Good job. Nice and smooth. Nice.
I'm afraid of those rocks. Should I?
That was great. Okay, now you want to ride back to the truck? You're just going to do the same thing you just did.
Okay.
Use that front brake when you're ready to get there and stop. Good job. Nice and smooth. Nothing changes. Yeah. Now we got it dialed. Good job. Okay, now 3 shifts down. Hit it nice and hard.
1, 2, 3.
3. Now 1 extra just in case. Now a test.
Oh, sorry.
Stop.
Sorry.
What'd I tell you? Right?
Okay,
When you give it a test with the throttle, you hold on and you barely give it any.
Otherwise it takes off.
Or else it takes off. That's
And
why
then
we
your
do the
hand's
test.
caught on it, and then when it takes off, it's pulling you away, making it go faster.
Yep.
So maybe should you let
In
go?
a situation like that, you let go of the bike immediately.
Jump off.
It's okay. You're okay. You're
That's the
alive.
great thing about this bike is it's so little and it's so slow that if you get stuck to where it's like, oh, it's going, let the bike go and you just walk away on your feet.
Yeah, like that, and then it
Just
was
ghost ride it right between your legs and just let go
Drop
of it.
off.
Uh-huh.
All right.
But that's why we do the test.
Yeah.
Because, see, we're still in first. And that's why I want you to hit the shifter hard when you do. So you're in third, and you went 1, 2, 3, but maybe somewhere in the mix you didn't hit it all the way. I have a feeling I'm still in first gear, so I'm gonna hold the bike as if I'm ready to take off. Oh, and see, I am in first gear, so now we're good. That's it. Only reason I gave you that advice before I saw that happen is because I've seen every kid that's learned how to ride a dirt bike do that same exact thing.
Including Daddy.
That's when you get a clutch and you learn how to use a clutch. It's a little bit easier because you know when it's in neutral. This bike, you never know until you give it a little test. But
All right.
hey, that was great. And you did 2 full laps all by yourself without stopping.
All right.
That was awesome.